Hello everyone, I'm here today to conclude with you our read aloud of Inheritance of Traits, Why is My Dog Bigger Than Your Dog? So we've been talking a lot about genes and the inheritance of genes, DNA, and chromosomes. So really quickly, I wanted to remind you that yesterday we talked about the different number of chromosomes that different animals have. Cats have 38, dogs have 78, horses have 64. Humans have 46. Remember that these chromosomes they come together in pairs. So since humans have 46, 23 are passed on from our mother and 23 are passed on from our father, and they go together in pairs. For example, some chromosomes control different body functions like your eyesight or the ability to talk, different things that bodies can do. So here, before we move on today, we saw that a chromosome looks like this. It looks like a sort of an X. Some of them look like an X, some of them look more like a Y. And they go to and they're coiled together by DNA. And the DNA is sort of this coiled ladder that gives these cells genetic instructions, and it acts as a blueprint for the development of our bodies. So today we will continue reading and conclude Inheritance of Traits. Best in Show. Back at the dog show, some classes have been judged. A beagle wins first prize. Show dogs often have long, odd-sounding names. The winner's name is Sophie the Third, Amazing Trick of Hounslow. Her owners call her Trixie for short. A full set of genes. You talk to the breeder, who explains that Trixie was bred from two prize-winning dogs. Their names were Clever Trick of Hounslow and Sophie II, Amazing Lady. Trixie's full name reflects her parentage, but the breeder explains that she got more than her name from her parents. She also inherited half her genes from her mother and half from her father. Brother and sister. The breeder is also showing a brother and sister pair named Reggie and Ellie. You notice that brother and sister look similar, but their faces and markings are slightly different. If two dogs come from the same litter and inherited half their genes from each parent, why don't they look exactly the same? These prize-winning dogs are related but have different markings. So now we'll discuss why, even though two puppies, two children can come from the same parents, look similar, but they don't look exactly the same. And the reason for this is called trait variation. For centuries, breeders have known that within each generation of young that is born, some animals are slightly different. For example, one puppy might have slightly longer ears than normal. These differences, called variations, happen naturally. If breeders like the variation, they choose that animal to breed from. In this way, the feature becomes more common. Variation allows breeds to change over time. So we talked about how some chromosomes look like an X and some look like a Y. So when you get an X and a Y chromosome, the child or puppy being born is a male, and two X chromosomes go together to form females. Boy or girl. What makes some puppies male and others female? This is decided by a pair of chromosomes. The mother always has an X chromosome, and the father may have an X or a Y chromosome. So if the mother passes along, she always passes along the X. So if the father passes along the Y, it will be a male. And if the father passes along another X, it will be female. The odd puppy out. You stop by a pen that holds a black Labrador with her litter of 4 puppies. The proud father, another black Labrador, is nearby. But wait, you notice that one of the puppies is brown. How can 2 black dogs produce a brown puppy? Genes have decided the color of these puppies. So we learned that 2 parents with brown eyes could have a child with blue eyes because of the genes that are recessive, the alleles that get passed down. If I was born with blue eyes, even if my parents had brown eyes, that would mean that probably one of my grandparents had blue eyes, or maybe one of their parents, or even one of their parents had blue eyes. So the trait is in your DNA, even though it doesn't come out. Now, I know for sure that my father has blue eyes, so it would not be impossible if I had children for the child to be born with blue eyes, even though I have brown eyes. Same thing here. Somewhere in this line of ancestry was a brown Labrador. Strong and weak genes. You ask the owner, who reminds you that genes come in pairs. One of the pair comes from each parent, but both control the same features, such as hair color. In Labradors, the gene for black hair is stronger than the gene for brown hair. We call the strong gene dominant and the weak gene recessive. If one dog passes on the black hair gene and the other passes on the brown hair gene, the puppy will be black. If 2 black dogs with one black hair gene and one brown hair gene, meaning that both parents had the black gene but also the recessive blue, like the Punnett squares we talked about, there is a 1 in 5 chance that the puppy would be born with the recessive brown gene. Gregor Mendel. In the 1860s, Austrian scientist Gregor Mendel experimented with heredity by breeding pea plants. Mendel crossed plants producing violet flowers and ones producing white flowers and got only plants with violet flowers. However, when he bred the new violet flowered plants together, he got some plants that produced white flowers. He realized that the violet flower color was strong and the white flower color was weak. It was not until many years later that scientists discovered the colors were controlled by strong and weak genes. Champion sniffers. Almost there. You head across the central show ring to the central show ring to watch a display of sniffer dogs. These dogs are trained to use their excellent sense of smell. They are used in police work to sniff out explosives, track criminals by scent, and find people lost in the wilds. This beagle is a trained sniffer dog. These are the hunting instincts of a dog that can be useful. Training and performance. You watch as a dog sniffs out a hidden package. The dog has inherited its excellent sense of smell and the instinct to sniff things out. But years of training have increased its tracking skills. Training has also strengthened the bond between the dog and its owner, so it is able to obey different commands and carry out a range of tasks. A bloodhound's nose is 1,000 times more sensitive than a human's. Genes play a big part in any dog's appearance. For example, they determine its size and the shapes of its body parts, such as its ears, legs, nose, and tail. However, diet and exercise also affect how a dog looks. Dogs that are given too much food can become overweight. Not enough food makes a dog thin. Exercise increases a dog's stamina and strengthens its muscles so it can run for longer without getting tired. And also think about humans. Okay, if you think about professional athletes, they're usually more muscular than the average person. But that's not because necessarily of their genes. You can inherit athleticism from parents, but in order for the muscular growth that you see in professional athletes, training needs to go into that. Weightlifting, running, exercise of that sort. The work of sniffer dogs. Sniffer dogs are trained to find people buried in ruins of buildings after an earthquake. In snowy mountains, they find people buried by avalanches. Many different types of dogs are used as sniffer dogs. The world's best trained dog. As the show ends, an agility contest takes place outside. The dogs have to complete an obstacle course, jumping hurdles, weaving between poles, going up and down stairs, and crawling through a tunnel. The winner is the dog that finishes fastest without making any mistakes. Inheritance, experience, and training all play a part in agility contests. So again, a dog can inherit agility, which is its ability to use its body, bend its body, complete the obstacle course. Basically, it's athleticism. It's able to use its natural instincts, but the training is also needed to become the very best. Training matters. You watch the dogs run the course. They are amazing. Following their owner's shouts, whistles, and signals, they twist and turn to take the obstacles in the right order. As with the sniffer dogs, training has built on the dog's natural abilities and instincts. Training pays off. The winner receives his prize. Wolfie is a crossbreed, a German Shepherd Greyhound cross. The dog combines the best qualities of both breeds. Greyhounds are very fast, while German Shepherds are strong, clever, and easy to train. Breeders often crossbreed two breeds to get a champion in classes, such as agility contests, in which any dog can take part. Wolfie's name reflects his proud ancestor, the wolf. Mixed breeds. Dog shows are fun to watch, but pedigree or purebred dogs sometimes suffer from health problems. This is because breeders have only a small number of pedigree dogs to choose from. Health problems, as well as good qualities, can also be passed on in genes. Mixed breeds, or what we would refer to as mutts, are often healthier than pure breed ones. They usually live longer, so a mixed breed is a great choice if you want a dog. And then that is it. And then, of course, there's the glossary. There's more information, websites that you could visit, and then there's an index as well. All right, so that concludes our book. I hope that you enjoyed it. This is a very interesting way to learn about traits, inheritance of traits, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.